what time it is. That's right. It's Renovation Nation time. Coming at you from Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Oh, another Saturday. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody's having a good one. I'm in a new studio today. I'm in a completely different studio, and I had to rearrange. Yeah. Yes, I did. Well, you are listening to Renovation Nation, coming at you from Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chad Rowland, host of this crazy show. Yeah, coming at Studio 378, but I've changed the studio, though. I've moved it over to another location, and you can always watch the show if you missed today. You can always check us out on YouTube, search a Standard Conversation, or go to rtmroofing.com, click the video, boom, it'll take you there. So hit subscribe, hit like, do all that good stuff. But yeah, today's a good day. Today's just me. Let me start that way. Let me slow down a little bit. I'm a little excited today. Today is just me. But next week, I've got an interview coming up. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I actually got two guys coming in here. They're hosts and co-hosts, both hosts, whatever. But they're going to be in here next week, and I may say who it is near the end of the show, so you got to stick around for that. But nevertheless, as I always say, that, it's going to be a good interview. So I wanted to change up my little deal around here. And, I'm using the dining room table and some things, which took it out of the studio. Yeah, it's a mobile studio is what it is, but it is Saturday. I hope you're having a great day. It's been a little different weather this week. We've had some pretty good downpours and storms, but now a little bit of wind, but we've had a lot of rain. And if you've been in certain pockets, you've got a lot of rain. And then, it's been humid as heck, and, that's been terrible. But this week it lightened up a little bit, even though after all the rains and all that. And it got me thinking, what am I going to talk about today? I'm always, I think I want to talk a little bit about RTM Roofing. And because you guys are smart enough to know of all the stuff I'm always talking about and beating into the ground ad nauseum, as they say, that, I'm not going to talk about that today. I'm just going to talk about some generalities of RTM Roofing, and the importance of your roof. I mean, if you've listened to the show at least once, you know the importance of your roof. And I want to give that reminds me, I want to give a big shout out to James Rabin last week with the Homestead Group for coming in. That was a good show. And if you didn't catch that show, it is on YouTube and Spotify and TikTok and all those socials. Yeah, I joined the evil club of socials. I gotta get used to being in here. This is different. This is completely different. I'm glad I'm doing a trial run this week before I get into the guest I'm having next week, which is going to be a good show. You might know who they are. You might know who one of them is. You might know who both of them are. You might not know them at all, but we're going to have a great conversation. And it's not going to go down the rabbit hole like what you think whenever I probably let you know who it's going to be. But it's going to be a good one. It's going to be, I'm looking forward to it. It's one of the, no offense to James Raven, he was great. I love James. But I'm looking forward to this one. This one, we're actually going to do an after show too, I think, that we'll put up, but I don't know. But anyway, back to today. Yeah, it's the weather's it's changing. They're calling for a little cooler weather next week in the 80s. I don't know what the humidity is going to be like, but the weather's changing a little quicker this year, I think. So what better time now that school's out and you've gotten all that stuff taken care of, you're starting to get your budget back, get your roof looked at. Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751, 500-0751, or go to rtmroofing.com for all your roofing, your siding, your soffit, your fascia, your gutters, your chimney caps, your skylights. Yeah, and one more, your attic insulation needs, blown-in attic insulation. And we've had a lot of calls on those. I always talk about that each week because that's, to get your roof inspected. I say it every week I say it. Even when on reruns, I say it. But you already know that. But now that the heat is settling, the cold's going to come in. That's the next deal. And, You don't want the cold coming or your heat getting out of your house in the winter. I got to think about this for a minute because I think of it reverse in my head. But the hot wants to go to the cold. Right now, the hot's trying to get into your house. Here in a few months, you're wanting to stay in your house and not get out. It's the same difference. Don't wait till we get some of these. Maybe we get some negatives again this year. I don't know. Maybe we have ice again. I hope not. Hey, I'm gonna knock on some wood around here. That I don't want to jinx anybody, especially myself. But you don't know what's coming this winter. We didn't know this much rain was going to be here this year. It's been a blessing and a curse in some aspects. But the thing is your attic insulation is important, and I really want to hound that in. I'm not going to hound it all in today, but I really want to hound that in to start thinking about that. Peek your head up in your attic. You should do that anyways, once a year, at least once a year, just to make sure everything's still connected, looks good. If you've had a leak in your roof, usually if it's been there a little while, you'll look up, you'll see the stains on the ceiling of the wood decking. So, but look at your rafters. Look at your joists. They're actually ceiling joists. They're the things that you want to step on. Otherwise, you step in insulation and go through your ceiling in your house, and you don't want to do that. But if you can see your wood joist and the insulation is not covering it, you need to call RTM Roofing. That's it. That's all you got to do. Pick your head up, scan around, and number one, just make sure you don't have any roof leaks. That's one way to check, or at least any that's been there for a minute and just hadn't shown you inside. So you just look around. Nothing. All looks good. Yep. Then look down at, what you would walk across if you had to walk across your attic floor. If you can see those wooden joists, most likely, they can be going left to right, right to left, backwards, I don't know. But if you can see the wood joists, and you should know what those are, you'll be able to see them. If you don't see, let me put it this way. All right, let me slow down. If you don't see nothing but just insulation and then some ductwork maybe and, whatever else, then you need to call RTM Roofing and get your insulation looked at. And you can, again, do that at 615-500-0751, 500-0751. Again, it'll go to rtmroofing.com. And we're going to be doing some new things on the website here soon. That's coming attractions. I was trying to think of TBD, to be determined. No, the date's not, it needs to be determined, but overall, we got some neat things we're going to be putting up there and doing, and more the digital world. It seems like, if you're not messing into the digital world, I don't want to say you're getting left behind, but you're getting left behind, and some people don't like it, and I don't blame you. It's a lot. It's supposed to be more efficient and quicker, and it is. It does that. But at the same point in time, if it's just you and you're not going to pay somebody hundreds upon hundreds of dollars a month, or even thousands of dollars a month, depending on, there's a lot. It's changed. Let me just say that, in the last, what can I think about here? 2017, 2018, 2019, the kind of algorithms and things where you were working on Facebook or Instagram before Threads, and YouTube, and it was still, they all sort of talked together. Now they all sort of got separated. And it's a different world in the digital, and you've got to do a lot of different things on a lot of, platforms. And there's ways to combine them and all that. I don't know why I just jumped off on this, but it's another one of my Business 101 shows, I guess. Because in business, you've got to stay relative, and the majority of people, if it's not word of mouth or you didn't see it with your own eyes, it's on your phone or on your laptop or on your computer, or as soon as you speak it out loud, that's on your phone, on your laptop, on your computer, and we're going to be doing some new things on the website. So the websites are still landing pages, and look, I'm just my opinion. I know there's computer people out there yelling at the radio and all that, but just it's an interesting thing, and it's changing. It's changed. Let me say that. I don't know about changing. I think it's already changed, and that you got to stay on top of it. If you don't, you get swallowed pretty quickly. I've been observing a little bit. Normally, I used to be everywhere online. Now it's like, where am I online? Other than YouTube, you go search a standard conversation or go to our website, rtmroofing.com, and you'll get the gist of our YouTube exposure. And it's doing pretty good. There's a lot of people watch the shorts, or the reels or whatever you want to call them. Now, last week's show with James Rabin, that was a great show. We talked some little crazy stuff here and there, but overall with real estate and the special he's offering, which was it was a flat rate to sell your house and then the normal commission to help you buy another one. It got some attraction. He was texting me on Saturday. And so what's up, James? Good luck out there. But going back to it, the Business 101 style is digital marketing, getting your footprint out there, whatever you want to call it. It's one of the key pedestals now. I mean, marketing's always been a pedestal in that four-leg table of business. But digital marketing versus traditional marketing, signs, radio ads, that's what I call that the traditional. But the new digital, it's a whole nother world out there. It really is. Now, I see we've already coming in. Well, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to get jumping on into about a little more about, well, let me rewind. I'm going to jump into RTM Roofing when we come back, because there's things that a lot of new listeners that need to know. They know about us. I want you to know who we are if you don't already. And if not, we'll just talk about digital marketing some more, because we're in pixels out there somewhere. Hey, come on back. We'll see you in 3. Hey, this is Chad with RTM Roofing and host of Renovation Nation. RTM Roofing's commercial division is looking for you. Are you a property manager? Do you own the building? Are you the business owner? You tired of leaks? You tired of chasing leaks? Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751 or go to rtmroofing.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, fill out the contact card, and let us help you out. And you're back live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know what time it is. It's Renovation Nation time. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. These days go by quickly on Saturdays, and we're already at another Saturday. Yes, we are. Well, anyway, yeah, and from the new studio location. Yeah, it's still Studio 378 up on the hill. But if you're watching, if you go watch the video we always put up on YouTube either tomorrow or Monday from today's show, in case you missed it, you can come back and watch it. That it's a new studio, and it's got me a little flustered. I'm looking at different things. You don't realize yet, and said, hey, I'm Chad Rowland, host of this crazy show. You are listening to Renovation Nation, coming at you from Super Talk 99.7 WTN. That you don't realize that, when you're used to sitting and doing something consistently, the same room, the same lights, the same everything, that, you it just becomes mundane a little bit. You're just going through the motions. And I just realized today, sitting here looking around the room, that I know this room, but not like this with a camera in front of me and a microphone in front of me and you out there and me still wondering what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's one of these days, Dave. If you caught this show, this is the Chatterant Rambling show today. That's what I'm gonna call it. But you don't realize the different stimulations that come in visually from a room while you're sitting there trying to talk about something. I guess the closest thing I could think about it would be is if you're not used to speaking in front of people, that all of a sudden you've got to get up and you're talking in front of them, then your mind's so distracted by everything you're seeing that it's hard to keep up with what you're talking about. And that's usually everybody's fear. Except I'm doing it live on the radio right now. That's the way I roll. But it is. I mean, I guess I'm scrambled today a little bit. It's different in here. But what I want to get to today is a little more about RTM Roofing. RTM Roofing, to start with, has been here since 2015. Actually became incorporated in 2014. But opened the doors in 2015, October 15th to be precise, 2015, and been servicing the Middle Tennessee area ever since. Still are. Still here. Still going. So technically, what is that? That's 12 years old almost. But really, we're about 10 going on number 11 this year, being here and doing what we do. And I like to think about that, I always talk about RTM Roofing when we're replacing roofs, offer a 5-year labor warranty. I'm not doing 10, I'm not doing 15, I'm not doing the limited lifetime or all that stuff. That's just, to me, it's play on words. You'll know if you've got a labor issue within 5 years. And the reason I know that, because this company's been in business longer than that, and we've done a lot of roofs, and a lot of them are out of warranty now. And during that time period, they didn't call with a problem. And if they did, they got dealt with, and we immediately took care of what it was. If it was a roof problem, that's another misnomer out here, is that sometimes everything you see on your ceiling is a roof leak. It's not. Now, more than not it is, but there are percentages of time that it's not. It's a window. It's the brick. It's something else. I mean, we've seen it all. I say I've seen it all. I still see new things. But overall, me and my team have seen a lot. Seen things that we wouldn't think in the world you'd ever think were leaking. Not the roof. But 5 years is a long time. With the weather around here, you'll know a lot whether or not your roof's going to be leaking in 5 years if it's a labor issue. Now, there are certain things here or there that people want to dive into. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, yeah, anything can happen in 5 years or 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. But overall, 5 years, you'll know how the work was done, much less after some of the frog-killing rains that we've been getting this summer, especially this summer. It's been a wet year. We provide at RTM Roofing a complimentary roof inspection. What does that mean? It's a better word than free, because it is free to you, but it costs us something to come out. So we call it complimentary. I hate, I know you that's listened out there know what I'm about to say. I hate the word free. Free sucks. And that's a bad word too, but it does. It does. I'm just going to say there's nothing good that's free. You know where I'm going with that. There's usually a catch. It's usually something. And, well, number one, people don't appreciate it. Most people, including myself, if something's just given to me, don't get me wrong, thank you. But if I like to earn it, like to work for it. Because when you got a little sweat, blood, and tears in it, you appreciate it a little bit more than just being handed to you. We don't take deposits up front. Now, there's a caveat. If it goes up to a certain level, yes. But on average, 95% of the time, we don't take anything up front. Now, if it's a multi-trade project, we'll collect on parts as we go, but then typically we settle up at the end. We usually, most roofs are 2 days. Now some of these roofs out here can be 3 and 4, but that's big roofs. Most times it's 1 to 2 days and your roof's done. It's in, out, gone, cleaned up. There you go. I think that's why people don't. It's not a. What was I saying a while back to a buddy of mine? It's not a sexy purchase. I mean, the roof can look good, makes your house look good, no doubt about it. But it's not like buying the boat or the car, or back in my day, the radio. With the Rockford Fosgate 45, punch 45 in the back, and the 15, and some Polk Audio tweeters from Kenneth Ware and all them guys up there at Amplified Audio. That back in the day and still today. But the point being is it's not a sexy purchase, but it's complimentary to get it inspected. There are very, very few companies that will come out to your house, especially when you've got an issue. It's one thing just, going to come look at my roof, see what's going on. But when you've got a leak, you've got a HVAC problem, and you've got a plumbing problem, and you've got an electrical problem, you've got a problem, when you call 98% of most trades out there, not just them, just any trade out there, they're going to charge you a service call. That's why I say it's sort of free to you, which sort of sucks because free is not a good thing, but it's complimentary. We're giving you our time and our expertise and to track your problem down. I love tracking water. Now, it's a terrible way to say that because it's getting in somebody's house, but I call roofers, especially good roofers, are detectives of water. You got to track how did water get in there. And usually it's pretty obvious, much like a lot of things. The guy robbed the store, it's on video, there he is. You go up there, you see a nail pop, you see shingles missing, you see pipe boots that you can stick your hand in and just letting water in. Yeah, those pop out, but it's the ones where people are having leaks and everything looks normal. To me, that's the fun stuff. That's the fun stuff. And it's because it's a challenge. Challenges are good because it can only be so many things. I'm not saying I don't believe in miracles, but I'm telling you that usually when you get water in your house, it's a physical thing that it's one of those 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 parts of physical objects in front of you in that area is letting water in. It's just determining which one. And what's happened this year is that a lot of these storms have come in so hard and sideways and from different directions. It's showing you weaknesses already that were in your home that hadn't been really hit like that in a long, 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 long time or ever. And all of a sudden you get water and you're like, well, that corner's been dry for 20 years. And we go out there and there's not any counter flashing on the wall. There never was counter flash. It had a bead of caulk against your shingles and brick. Yeah, you've been lucky. You've been lucky. That's what it is. But if it's that time, call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751, 500-0751 for your roofing, your siding, your soffit, your fascia, your gutters, your chimney caps, your skylights, and now blown-in attic insulation. Well, come on back. Today's not over with. It's a Saturday. We'll see you in 3. Hey, this is Chad Rowland with RTM Roofing. The heat is on. Is it in? Is it in your house? Have you looked in your attic? Is it coming from your attic, your insulation, or lack thereof? RTM Roofing now does home attic blown-in insulation. Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751, 500-0751, or go to rtmroofing.com and get your complimentary inspection today. And you know what time it is? Yes, you do, because you know we're back. It's Renovation Nation time. Every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Yes, it is. And I'm Chad Rowland, host of this crazy show called Renovation Nation. And we're coming on back. I'm glad y'all hanging out today. It's another Saturday, kicking back a little bit. I'm finally relaxing. I'm finally calming down. If you put up with the first 2 segments, I apologize about that. It's a different room, different look. You can check it out on YouTube. Just go to our website, rtmroofing.com, and then you'll see a video there. Just click video, and it'll take you to YouTube. And underneath that video says at a standard conversation. Click that, hit subscribe, or just hit subscribe and like. But a lot of information out there, and this show will be there. It'll be there by Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. I don't have it's me and my vast staff that when you go there and watch, you'll see my vast staff. There's nobody behind the scenes. It is who it is, and that be me. The host of this crazy show named Chad Rowland. But we've been talking about RTM Roofing. We've been talking about a lot today. Started off with a little digital marketing and the new world of just digital that you got to have a footprint in and stay on top of. It's not very forgiving to when you forget to do something in a timely manner. And I don't know about y'all, but if you've scheduled yours, out there on YouTube or whatever, if you scheduled it, that I noticed my algorithm changed when it was getting scheduled rather than me doing it, or that's just, I guess, my superstition or whatever. However, we've been talking about all kinds of things, and I've also really been wanting to talk about RTM Roofing because, again, there's a lot of new listeners, and thank you for tuning in. But that, who are we? What do we do? And, to get your roof inspected. If you've not had it inspected in the last, year, number one, much less 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, since you moved in 15 years ago, not had your roof looked at, it is time. So call 615-500-0751, 500-0751, or go to rtmroofing.com for all your roofing, siding, soffit, fascia, gutters, chimney caps, skylights, blown-in attic insulation needs. There you go. That's it. And so I was actually about to say, we work on shingles, metal, TPO, EPDM, and other low-slope roofing systems, modified bitumen. I mean, I'm talking in my own head right now because when people say the mod bit, I call it, but when they say it last name, I've heard it pronounced 80 million ways and always crack up. But we do all aspects of roofing, from flat roofing to steep slope, from residential, which means your homes, to commercial, whether it's a home or apartment complex, business, flat roofs, steep slope roof, doesn't matter. We work on all those. And especially when it comes to maintenance for commercial, and that's that TPO and EPDM stuff. That's a big thing with RTM Roofing. We really like working with property managers and, that doesn't have time to always go out to all these spots and check them themselves. They have some maintenance guys that do stuff. We work with a lot of those guys. But when they've got multiple properties, that's where we come in pretty good. And we've got a lot of different ways to repair the TPO or the EPDM. It's not just going back with TPO. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It all depends on what we walk up into. And with commercial roofing, that's literally fingerprints. Everyone is different. Even, they're white, they're black, they're granulated, they're hot applied, they're whatever. Yeah, they're never. It's rarely two are the same. They look similar, they rhyme, but sometimes it depends on what crew did what to what you get. However, what we really like to do is we really love finding the source of the leaks. We're good at tracking them down. We're really good at tracking them down. And that's when we usually get the call, is when somebody they've had multiple people out, whatever, they're still having the same issue. It's, hey, I'm going to say there's been a couple times it's taken me a few times to find it, but we've never not found it. We've never not found it. And that's a good thing. So what else about RTM Roofing? I already talked about the 5-year labor warranty. We do Renovation Nation. I keep, I'm always just me sitting here doing this, but it's RTM Roofing that does this show. I'm just the lucky guy that gets to sit here and babble, and sometimes you listen and sometimes you don't, and I don't blame you for both. Mainly the don't is sometimes because I'll squirrel or just not be making sense, because I've got this unusual gift of I just think out loud. That's the way my brain works. It's just what comes to it comes out, and it's a main line. What else do? We do, number one, more repairs than we do replacements in roofing. What does that mean? That means not every roof needs replaced. Not every roof has hail damage. Not every roof has wind damage. Not every roof has a problem. Now, the majority have some issues. Sort of like a car, it's still, you might have a little drip here or there. That's usually not bad. But overall, more repairs than replacements, because that's what we see. If it needs replaced, we're going to tell you that. I mean, I'm going to tell you we can repair it. I'm just taking your money. But if you're good with it, we'll get the water stopped, but your roof is dead. Save up, replace it. Finance it. RTM Roofing offers financing. Just had a client do it just the other day. He had the money. He just didn't want to spend his money, so he's doing that game and, whatever it is. But it took him 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Fill out this. It tells you. Boom, 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 done. So, yeah, financing. I don't mention that a lot. And I'm not, I do mention I'm not I don't like financing. I was stupid in my 20s. I did stupid things in my 20s, which I'm glad it was the 20s and not my 50s. But at the same point in time, that financing can be good and it can be helpful, and sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I've just learned to budget the best I can, prepare for what I know to come, so I don't have to. But there are times that, hey, if you don't have it, then you got to do something about water coming in over your head. So we have an option for you to finance. And easy peasy. So what else does RTM Roofing do? We try to help you understand the difference between storm damage, mechanical damage, and just wear and tear. You got to think of your roof like, your tires in your car or your car. Brand new, it's brand new. Good tread on the tires, doors shut properly, windows roll up, radio works, all that good, drives good. Put 20,000 miles on it. You've at least had to change the oil. And maybe that's it. Maybe you just change the oil 3 or 4 or 5 times, whatever it is. 10,000 miles, whatever your oil change order is. But I promise you've got to do that. Well, that would be after a couple years in roofing. Brand new roof, yes, if you got a brand new roof, call whoever did it, have them come back and look at it again a year later. At RTM Roofing, what we say is it's your responsibility, though, to call us to get it inspected annually, especially after we've done it. Because the problem is people don't do it until it's an emergency. And then they're scrambling to find anybody or whatever. Get it looked at. I'd mentioned previously, it's complimentary from RTM Roofing. It's a free gift. It's not costing you anything by that meaning free. It's cost us time and money to come out, but we're happy to look at it, and especially if we've done it. It's part of our warranty work or warranty stuff in our contracts is that we want you to call us back each year. And I'd like to, everybody goes, why don't you get something to send to people to remind them? I'm like, because they don't forget to call the HVAC companies. They don't forget to change their oil. People don't forget to do this or this. It's because you get skin in the game. And so once you get skin in the game, you will call. And it's a good thing. That's a discipline. I like discipline, even though I'm terrible at it. But it's a good thing. It really is. I mean, you just got to apply it to your roof that you've never thought about. Because once we've come out and you did have an issue, now it's a new roof or whatever. Maybe it was insurance, maybe it wasn't. Now you've been through that process. It's a scar. It's cost you money one way or the other. Now I need to call them back each year to inspect so I don't have this happen again. Because most of the stuff that happens on a roof, minus storm damage, is normal maintenance items. It's normal maintenance. It's your caulking on your roof. It's your pipe boots. It's making sure about nail pops. Nails do back out. Well, you want to catch it early, like you do when you go to the doctor. So number one, it doesn't cost you that much money. Number two, it doesn't cost you that much money. And number three, it stops a leak and does not cost you that much money. It's complimentary just to know the problem you have. And then it's a minimal cost on most of the stuff we run into when people are doing standard protocol maintenance. You know, how you get a mower, you get something that says change the oil every 8 hours, every 15 hours, every 50 hours. Get your roof inspected once a year. The RTM Roofing, 615-500-0751, 500-0751, or go to rtmroofing.com. You know what for needs. Did I say that right? You know what for needs? For the needs of roofing, siding, soffit, fascia, gutters, chimney caps, skylights. Yeah, all the stuff on your outside of your home, including inside the blown-in attic insulation. Yeah, that's what we're doing. And man, time is a-flying. Well, I hope you've kept up with me today, at least for this segment, because I barely kept up with myself. But when we come back, I'm going to jump into a few more things and a little more about RTM Roofing. It's an RTM Roofing type day. And then I'm going to tell you who's going to be here next week. You're going to want to know. You're listening to Renovation Nation. See you in 3. Hey, this is Chad Rowland with RTM Roofing. The heat is on. Is it in? Is it in your house? Have you looked in your attic? Is it coming from your attic, your insulation, or lack thereof? RTM Roofing now does home attic blown-in insulation. Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751, 500-0751, or go to rtmroofing.com and get your complimentary inspection today. And you know you're back live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know what time it is. It's Renovation Nation time. New studio here, kicking in the new studio today. Finally calming down, I think. I don't know. But you are listening to Renovation Nation, coming at you from Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chad Rowland, host of this crazy show, coming at you both from terrestrial radio, and in a couple days, this show will be on YouTube. Just go to our website at rtmroofing.com, click a video, takes you to YouTube, hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Go back and watch shows. If you missed some of the shows, in like James Rabin last week with the Homestead Group, go back and watch. You can go back and skip through it as much as the whole shows are up. There's segments. I put segments up at times. Me and my vast staff, which is me, myself, and I. But nevertheless, it's part of that digital, if you've caught the show today, it's part of that digital marketing that you've got to stay relevant out here. And no matter if you like it or not, that's the world we live in. And so I'm doing a little bit of digital RTMing today, because, RTM Roofing brings you this show. So I've got to prop it. I'd like this to be the Chad show and me just talk about what I want, but I like what I do here when it comes to Renovation Nation. I like talking about RTM Roofing. There's only so much you can say. After a while, to me, it gets old. It's like being a politician. You're just repeating the same stuff over and over and over, which you got to do. It's like a band touring. But that, I like changing it up and getting interviews like with James Rabin and the one coming up next week. It's going to be big. I say going to be big. It's just, it's got me giddy. I'm going to have to slow down and listen and not talk during this interview. And because I'm really curious about it. It's a former client, actually. I met him in 2017, 18. It was the early years. And he's went on to do all kinds of different things and now has an online network. And I'm gonna let you know who that is for the end of the segment. We're in the show today. You'll have to stick around. But I want to go back to RTM Roofing, because that we do like helping you understand the difference between hail damage and wind damage and no damage. That's just like mechanical damage. Let's talk mechanical damage for a minute. What is mechanical damage? You'll hear that word. Sometimes you've had to have a claim, you've gotten a claim, and the adjuster will say, it's just mechanical damage. Mechanical damage is when you're installing a roof, the shingle system, and usually it can be on a lower slope, a ranch-style 70s, 60s home versus a new 12-12 pitch, multi-cut, hipped-out roofs. And that means just slopes everywhere. When it's the heat that it's been over the last 4 to 6 weeks off and on, that kind of heat, you can just set your tool down on a shingle that's gotten hot, because your roof gets hot. That's why ventilation is important. You can just set that nail gun down, whatever down, and it can leave a mark. It'll scratch it a little bit. It'll make a little indentation. That's acceptable by manufacturer specifications. There are limits, but that's called mechanical damage. It happens. It's part of, it's part of putting a roof on. And when it's too cold, you can do mechanical damage too. It's just because it gets brittle, but that's a different style. But nevertheless, that's mechanical damage. Mechanical damage is, everybody's got some mechanical damage on their roof. Let me put it that way. It's impossible, just literally almost. Maybe somebody's done it. Maybe somebody's done one, maybe two, maybe 100 out of, I don't know how many tens of millions of homes there are. But I can tell you, when people are involved and construction work's involved, there will be a scratch here or there sometimes on the roof, especially when it's a 12-12 and you're walking up it and da-da-da. But my point is, you don't see it. 99% of the people don't see it unless you get up and walk and get 3 inches from your roof. And that's okay, because you're not getting on your roof. That's why most people don't think they have hail damage. Or wind damage you can see, because it blows shingles off. But sometimes it creases them, and you don't see that from the ground. So not everything you see from the ground is telling you a full story. And that's where we like helping explain that, A, do you have any insurable damage? B, do you not? C, is it wear and tear? Or is it mechanical? Yeah, there were some rough shingles up there that you couldn't see around that bend that was a walk path at one point, or something happened, but it's still holding. It looks a little nasty right now, but you got it, or that needs to come up. We need to put something there because it's starting to leak. That's your problem. That's how RTM Roofing helps. We also, insurance is a new game, and I don't know if any roofers listen to this show that they get it. Insurance is a brand new world this year, or last couple years actually, last 10 years actually. But we work with a lot of insurance companies. When I say work with them, we've worked with them many, not one-on-one, meaning we call them, they call us, meaning your roof got damaged, your ex insurance company, we've worked with that company more than not. Multiple times. And each company has their own protocols, their own rules. A lot of them are the same, but it gets different policies. I mean, I don't know how many policies there are out there, but there's more than 3. And then the riders that go with it, I know there's ACV, RCV, no CV, whatever. There's all kinds of different formulas that each individual insurance company has. Some are owned by others, by somebody else, so they'll have the similar things, and some are just their own, and they do what they do. But we know how to work with insurance companies. I mean, it changes, but the main principle doesn't change. There's damage, there's documentation, there's paperwork, there's patience, and you got to take your time. This isn't the good old days, as they say, where they come out and most of the time and go boom, 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 and it's over. It's a different world. It's just a different world. But RTM Roofing does that. We know how to work with your insurance companies. RTM Roofing is also built for long-term relationships. That's why we love repairs when it's repairable, because I always said and say that how are you going to let us replace your roof if we can't repair it? I mean, I know there are companies that do not do repairs. They just do replacements, and, God bless them. But I like repairs because, A, it's helping someone out. B, when we do the job we do and you approve and you're good and it's all good, you're going to call us back the next time when you have a problem. But we're going to try to eliminate that, because the long-term relationship is getting your roof inspected annually, complimentary, no charge to you. And you'll be ready, and it won't be a surprise like the first time. So yes, we love long-term relationships. And if a storm comes, or if we've helped you budget for your roof because we knew it was going, hey, you've got X, I can never say 2 years, 3 years. I always say, if I can't see past 5, but you got 5+ years on this somewhere, unless a storm comes rolling through. I can say that kind of stuff. Or I'll say, I don't know how you get another year, but you can, but you're going to have some problems. We've already gotten you ready for that, unless that was the first visit. That's a good thing. That's the long-term relationships, especially in property management too. Like I said, we love working with property managers because they don't have time to deal with all the small stuff. You got bigger things to do. That's not what you make your money at. Is you make the money at delegating and managing. RTM Roofing's a fire and forget missile. We're the old AIM 54 Phoenix missile from the F-14 Tomcat. Could lock on to 6 different targets, 100-mile radius or range or something, 125, something, whatever they told us. And then you fire it, and you're in the plane, you turn back and head home. It does it from there. Well, that's RTM Roofing to property management companies. You send us the problem. You go on about your business. We communicate with you. Digitally, verbally, whatever is the most efficient and the easiest convenience for you. That's it. That's it. Long term. Sooner or later, you're going to need a roof. And we want to be the one to do it for you. Because we've earned it by taking care of your repairs and being honest about what we see. That's all we can do. All you can do is hang out the rest of the Saturday and enjoy it. And thanks again for sticking around. Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751. Otherwise, go to rtmroofing.com and catch this show. See you next week.